Right, now we turn our attention to, as we would say in the Yami Series, Benelux, la catégorie Reine, X30 Senior. It's time for the final. The top 36 drivers out of 41 made it through to this final stage of it. And up for grabs for the winner. It's a test day with MP Motorsport in a Formula 4 car, a gold ticket to Miami Warriors Final 2025, and a set of slick tyres for their class. Also, a set of slick tyres will go to the drivers in second and third, and those drivers will also get a guaranteed spot. But here's your grid. Kevin Lantinga starts alongside Alessandro Tudisca on the front row. Row 2, Matthias van der Kerkhoff and Devon Hagland. Matthias Marschalz and Quinten van Leeuwen in row 3. Tristan Kroon, Mirko Wolters, Yanni Bouillet and Sven van der Heyden ran at the top 10. Luca Montebello, CJ Bennett, Casper Norman, Roxanne Lantinga, Luca Moulin, Tobias Norman, Charlie Gloom, Senna Meunier, Marcus Gloom and Raffaele Santacono ran at the top 20. Completing the 36-strong grid are as follows: Thomas van Vliet, Kevin Bakker, Max Hessel, Annabel Bryan, Wouter Bergano, Zino Falke, Keanu Wellens, Leon Leinsveld, Raphael Leenders, Nol van Vonveld, Mathis Renet, Joris Schoens, Caspar Delbar, Kaz Othaus, Dylan de Vos, and Raphael Boulard. Rounding out the 36-strong grid. Once again, it is going to be 14 minutes plus an additional lap of the 1,366-metre clockwise circuit here at Karting de Fagnes. "36 drivers have made it to this stage of the competition. And after around 15 minutes, we'll find out who will be our X30 Senior Winter Series champion. Oh, hand up there from, yeah, so full start has been called. They're going to go around again. First indication was me seeing Alessandro Tudisca's hand going up in the air. The 265 from RSD Karting. So if we do have another full start, it will be a red flag stoppage. And then there will be discussion had by Dave Ritson, our race director, and some of the drivers down on the grid. A big thank you to everyone that has tuned in. Over 300 viewers so far at this point in the competition. Well, you know what they say. If you haven't liked, shared or subscribed, folks, please do so. The more the merrier. We appreciate your support for this first ever event through Karting Champions League. And we do appreciate the fact that you're taking time to enjoy one of your passions, which is effectively motorsport. So we will be under starters orders for the second time of asking. Now there is one kart that is now I think that's an RSD kart that's just pulled to a stop out of Escargot. Now that is a worry at this point because we're about to get underway with racing. So yellow flags at the exit of Escargot. The driver has pulled to a stop on the circuit and has walked out of the kart. Meantime, let's concentrate on the start. Revs up, lights on. This time the lights are out and we're underway, side by side with Lantinga. Oh, and a little bit of a nudge by Hagland in the back bumper of Tudisca, as Tudisca and Lantinga went wheel to wheel through into turn 1. But that's Matthias van der Kerkhoff diving up the inside through at turn 3 for the race lead. And it was Marcus Gloom, the 210, who was starting all the way in 19th position. Marcus Gloom's, oh, and there's another big moment coming out of turn number 4. One of the victory lane carts involved, and somebody else, and someone's, oh, who's that through Chemin de Fer? Not too sure who it might have been. It could have been the 336 of Cazod House. But looks like it was Luca Moulard and Luca Montebello that came together. Leon Leinsveld's had a drama, and he's not broken the timing beam in sector number 1. But it's Matthias van der Kerkhoff that leads the way, and by half a second. Lantinga, P2, Tudiska and Mershout round out the top 4. Tudiska dives up the inside of Lantinga, who gets the crossover. Yellow flags into turn 4. So Lantinga did the move before they got to the yellow flag zone. And that gave no opportunity for either to... Oh, and there was a bit of a touch. Rear to front front to rear bumper between Matthias Mershout and Kevin Lantinga. Now, bearing in mind, Matthias Mershout qualified 40th. And now he's going up the inside of Lantinga through the final right-hander. Lantinga has to run a little bit wide to give him enough racing room. And Mershout now into second. But whilst this squabbling's going on, nearly 3 wide going into turn 1. Oh, Lantinga went for the lunge, got it done. Tudiska went for it and said, right, that's not going to work. I need to hold back. And now Lantinga gets done over by both Tudiska and Hagelin. Lantinga gets back past Hagelin. So Hagelin now latches onto the back bumper of the 269 on the crop promotion chassis. Oh, and that's Hagelin around. Hagelin around, loses the back end. It swaps ends with the front. And Devon Hagelin from Fusion Motorsport. Oh, disaster for the youngster from the Netherlands. Not too sure what happened, but it was a case of the kart pirouetting on its own, and Devon Hagelin suffers big time dramas. I think he might have lost it on his own, and more to the point, that's a real shame there. And you get to know these drivers well, and your heart goes out to them. And now Kevin Lantinga finds himself not only off the race lead, but he's also out of the podium. Lantinga now finds himself down in 4th position. So, retirements thus far. Marcus Gloom before we went green for the second, before we went lights out for the second time. Raffaele Santacorno, Leon Leinsveld, Luca Montebello and Luca Moulard all out before lap 2. So we have 31 drivers. Devon Hagelin, kudos young man, got the kart out of the mud and the grass off of the approach into Chemin de Fer, and is going to use this as a good way to gain experience. Mershout and Tudiska are trying to close the gap up to Matthias van der Kerkhoff. Kevin Lantinga currently running on a mid 56.5. Tudiska's in the high 56 zeros. Mershout in the low 56 ones. And Mershout's just responded with the fastest first sector of anybody. Sam van der Heyden looked up the inside of Quintin van Leeuwen from the Henze Racing team, and now the gap was 7/10. And, well, Mershout thought Tudiska was going around the inside of him, and he kept it pinned on the throttle at the outside of turn 1. Gap was just under 7.5 tenths. Now it's nearly half a second. Tudiska and Mershout are hungry. They both want to be the leader of the X30 Senior Wolf Pack. And at the minute, the rate of which they are charging forward, Matthias van der Kerkhoff has got to have eyes in the back of his head right now. 8.5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. We're down to 31 runners and riders out of a start grid of 36. Now the gap between the top three and a new fastest lap. Matthias van der Kerkhoff underneath 55.5 seconds, 55.492. Well, it was half a second last time round between van der Kerkhoff and Meneschalt. Meneschalt and Tudiska now within half a second. And, well, what can you say? When you've got a significant prize in front of you, you are going to put everything into it. And I can tell you this, I'm sure that when van der Kerkhoff, Meneschalt and Tudiska get out of their carts, they will be physically, mentally and emotionally drained, irrespective of what the outcome may be. Lap 7 completed. Meneschalt stuck his nose up the inside of van der Kerkhoff. Tudiska responds with the fastest lap of the race, 55.412, and Meneschalt dives up the inside at turn 3. From 40th position in qualifying and now in the final, KCR Racing's Matthias Meneschalt leads the final. A comeback story, if ever there was one. And now he's starting to pull a bit of the distance. The gap's about 4 kart lengths going into Escargot between van der Kerkhoff and Meneschalt, the latter who now leads. Movers up the order, Yanni Bouillet now up into P4 as Tudiska fires it up the inside of van der Kerkhoff on the beginning of lap number 9 at turn 1. Now van der Kerkhoff's just signalled to Tudiska, right, this man caught us up. Now let's go and find him. Let's go and hunt him down and bring the fight to him. Yanni Bouillet up to 4th place, having started 9th. Kevin Lantinga, 5th place. Tristan Kroon, Quintin van Leeuwen, Sem van der Heyden, Mirko Wouters, and now rounding out the top 10, the younger sister of Kevin, Roxanne Lantinga, now is in 10th place, up from 14th at the start. Annabelle Bryan and there's several drivers that have made up positions into double digits. Annabelle Bryan, 24th to 12th. Noel van Vonveld, 30th to 17th. Jori Schoens, 32nd to 22nd. Dinan de Vos, penultimate place on the grid and is now 23rd. And there's some battles happening up and down the order, and some of them coming out of turn number 3. One of which I think was Sem van der Heyden. I did also notice Casper Norman and Tobias Norman, the 2 Danes, new signings with KCR Racing, running 15th and 16th respectively. Casper's dropped 2 places. Tobias is in the same position where he started the race in 16th. But Matthias Meneschalt is pulling away slightly, but keep your eyes on the man that was dynamite at this circuit just 3 months ago. Effectively, well, 3.5 months ago at the Yamis Series Benelux final for X30 Senior. Tudiska was a 10th behind Meneschalt. Meneschalt has just got to focus on his race, but he knows he can feel the heat behind him. He can feel that there are 2 other drivers that are within striking distance. And sometimes at this point in the race with just under 4 minutes to go, You might want to be a little bit more conservative, but at the moment, Matis Mersholt is still leading. But here comes Tudiska up the inside, through on lap number 12, turn 1. Alessandro Tudiska hits the front, goes defensive into turn 2 on Mersholt, who also has to look at how he defends from Matthias van der Kerkhoff. Oh, this is getting feisty at the front end now. And Mersholt gets through. Tudiska went a little bit, overran it a little bit into turn 4, and Mersholt got through. Tudiska getting pressure from behind, courtesy of van der Kerkhoff, and Mersholt just trying to make sure that he keeps the racing line. In some respects, it means that Alessandro Tudiska has to react accordingly and not have a drama where if he finds out that his front bumper is in, that's it, game over. Over the line we go again. It was, well, the difference, it was 7 1,000ths between Tudiska and Mersholt last time around on lap 11. Lap 12, it swung the other way by 77 thousandths in the favour of Matis Mersholt. All three drivers take the racing line, and a little bit wider coming out of turn 3 by Matthias van der Kerkhoff. Yanni Bouillet is only 1.3 seconds behind in the number 214. There's the PJM car in the back of shot. And a defence again by Matis Mersholt, just making that KCR Racing chassis as wide as humanly possible. Through out of Chemin de Fer and into Escargot. Lastminute.com, sweep in front of Tudiska. 2 minutes plus an additional lap remains. That's 3 minutes of action. And Matthias van der Kerkhoff takes advantage of Alessandro Tudiska trying to fight Matis Mersholt. And they're going to be wheel to wheel. Oh no, big hit! Big hit into the barriers for Alessandro Tudiska. Sidewall contact, spins him into the barriers. He's flung from the cart, but instantly up on his feet. I'm so pleased to see that. But Alessandro Tudiska, with the biggest incident this weekend so far, I am so happy to see the adrenaline picked him back up on his feet. And now this gives Matthias Mersholt a little bit of breathing space, because once they clashed wheels, that is one of those heart in the mouth moments. Because looking back, yeah, it was a case of van der Kerkhoff was veering a little bit to the left, and then the wheels interlocked, and Tudiska was a passenger, the biggest name. But I'm so glad to see that he's okay. But Matthias Mersholt, with 45 seconds on the timer to go, has fought his way back from the penultimate spot out of 41 drivers. And he now leads on lap 15 and is probably 2 laps away, not including this one. Well, looks like the time is going to possibly run out by the time he hits the start-finish straight. We're on lap number 15. Yeah, it's going to be last lap next time around. But one more lap remains. What a Cinderella story this is for the driver in the front of the field at the moment. Into turn 1 for the final time. Matthias Mersholt, the 250. In his mid-teens. Could have thought, well, I had a chance. Made up 42 positions over the course of the heat stages, and then put himself in the right place for the superheat. And he started on the inside of row number 3. And there's a penalty going for Mathis Renet for a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. I'm not too sure how race control will I'm not too sure of their viewpoint reference van der Kerkhoff and Tudiska. But powering up the hill, here he comes from 40th in qualifying. He wins X30 Senior from nigh on stone dead last. He's the Karting Champions League Winter Series X30 senior champion, Proficiat Mathis Merchant. Félicitations. That was beautiful. It means so much for him. Guaranteed gold ticket for the Yami Warriors final. And I cannot wait to see this man behind the wheel of an MP Motorsport Formula 4 car. You have earned it. You have earned it. That's brilliant. And you know what? Everyone in the paddock, every single one of his peers are coming to congratulate him. They know how much it means. Mathis Merchant wins amidst drama in X30 Senior by 0.122 of a second. Matthias van der Kerkhoff Pavrizhny on second place, Yanni Bouillet third, Kevin Lansinger fourth, Quintin van Leeuwen, Sam van der Hayden, Tristan Kroon, Annabelle Bryan from 24th to 8th. Senna Meunier, Mirko Wouters round out the top 10. Tobias Norman, Kevin Bakker, Roxanne Lantinga, Wouter Bergano and Casper Norman round out the top 15. CJ Bennett 16th, head of Charlie Gloom. Zino Valke, Noel van Vonveld, Max Hazel, Dinan de Vos, Joris Schoens, Thomas van Vliet, Raphael Boulard, Keanu Wellens, Mathis Renet, Gaspar Delbar, Raphael Linders, Devon Hagland managed to cross the line in 29th. Kazot House, the last of the classified finishers. Very, very scary incident for Alessandro Tudisca on lap 13, being the last of our retirees. Luca Moulard, Maluka Montebello, Leon Leinsfeld, Raffaele Santacono and Marcus Gloom retire early in the race, but well deserved. Mathis Merchant, 2025 Karting Champions League X30 Senior Champion. Next up, final race of the meeting, KZ2 Masters and X30 Super Shifter, the final up next.